What we're looking at there is turmeric. Now, normally I just leave it in the ground, but this is all sort of sticking out of the ground. And I noticed there was a big bit in here, there. It goes soft and rots when, see that? That shouldn't happen, that's all rotty. And that's because it's sticking out the ground. So I'm going to harvest this lot. I'll pick the best bits and put them back in. It's almost spring here, so it'll be time for it to shoot up again. But let's dig a bit of this out. G'day folks, Andy here from McDowell Manor. So we got quite a lot of it. Now there is a fair bit that's, you can see that bit down there. You can see there's a fair bit rotting. It's not just bits sticking out, but this is remarkably damp here. And I can see it's damp there too. Now we haven't had rain for quite some time, so I'm a bit surprised about that. That big root is probably off this big tree over here. It's a council tree, useless as anything. So there you go, I'll fill this hole back in, I'll take the turmeric in and give it a clean. Bob's your uncle. I'll keep the best bits and I'll put them back in. So we gave it a hose. It's quite a bit of it, quite a bit there. Geez, I only dug up the one patch too. I got several patches of turmeric around the place. I tend to lose it in winter because the plants die off so much you can never find them. But yeah, whew, what a haul. When that dries out a bit, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't rot. So I've rinsed it roughly with the hose. I'll let it dry in the sun. Then we'll take it in and clean it up properly. So I do a harvest on, that's galangal or galangal, depending on where you live. I might also do a harvest on some of that, just to see how it's going more than anything. We're in lockdown over here, so hence you are seeing a lot more videos than you would normally see, but hopefully they're not too boring. So you probably can't tell, but I did have a bit of a dig around in the turmeric. There's not really anything there. I can see it is starting to shoot back up. I'm going to leave that till next year. That's what I found with the turmeric. If I only harvest every 2 years, geez, you get a good crop then. So let's assume that galangal's the same. That's a gooseberry. Now, you know, oftentimes people plant a gooseberry, they have all sorts of trouble getting it to grow. It's growing in a crack in the concrete. And the other day I noticed it even had a little gooseberry on it. Look at that! Bizarre. Well, this is about as close as the quails get to a dust bath, you know, free range. That's an old little dog fence. So that lets them get out. I pick a bare patch so they can have a dig around, as you can see. And they do. Not as bad as chickens, but they're having fun. Move their little pen over a bit so they can get some sun as well. They're loving it. Now this is all girls. You know, look at that. Nice, calm. Even I've moved the injured ones out here. So the one that had been scalped, that's her on far away there. And that one I had with her, that one there. Because she's getting some sun. They'd knocked all the feathers off her back from over vigorous mating. But yeah, they're not being bothered because it's all girls. On the other hand, make a liar of me. This is all the boys. Now usually they run around, they fight each other and carry on like a bunch of maniacs. But the bad news for them is I'm only going to keep the 3 biggest birds. So I don't care what they look like. I'm only going for size. And I may even, yeah, look at those 2 fighting, bloody dills. I may even only keep 2 yet. The rest will have to go off to freezer can. A bit of a replant. That bit looked too perfect not to replant. You know, great root structures. Should be good to go. Those are bits that were either a bit soft or, you know, clearly tubers, not turmeric. So I'll shove them back in the ground too. 2.9 kilos, folks. I did the weighing. 2.915 to be exact. Incredible. It's interesting. I didn't even go to any great lengths. Look at that. There's still turmeric. Not that, but that's still all turmeric in there. So that was one patch. There's another patch further down somewhere in this same... Oh, here. So there'll be a whole patch of it under there as well. Bloody hell. Oh well, happy with the turmeric, folks. You have a good one, eh? Hooroo.